Hello everyone, and welcome to this unboxing video for Hellboy the board game, Box Full of Evil. This is the rest of the Kickstarter. It is literally the two expansions that were available separately on the Kickstarter, and a couple other stretch goals that weren't enough to be their own expansions or were just there randomly. So this is everything that was not included in the Kickstarter edition of the core game. So let's get to this. It is a bunch of miniatures and cards, just like any expansion for this should be. I don't think it comes with any extra dice or anything like that. So I played the game once. I like it so far, but I screwed up a lot of the rules. I do have trouble reading, so when you're the person with all the games, reading all the rules, you screw things up. Thankfully, my friends still loved it. And I also haven't been able to paint many of the minis. Hellboy is the only one that I've finished so far. If people would like to see the video of that, please feel free to comment about it. It is recorded, it is just not edited. Otherwise, it will take a while until I get to that one, as I have others I would prefer doing first. So, inside the box, we've got, first off, some advertisements for Star Saga and Dungeon Saga. Was this advertisement in the other one? Not important. But looks like fantasy sci-fi versions of the same game. Then we've got some character cards on the top. Luchador Hellboy. Esteban. El Hermano Estocoyo, I think. El Hermano Vengativo. And Henry Hood. Cool. So there's 5 new characters. I don't know if those were the half characters like there were in the other ones. Then we've got art cards for each of them. For each of the expansions, I should say. So originally these expansions were meant to be just separate orders, and then they decided to give a slightly discounted price for them if you got both, and then they hit the stretch goal for the Box Full of Evil, which I think was originally supposed to have all the Kickstarter stuff in it, but they put some of that into the core game Kickstarter version, which I still never really feel too comfortable even having it with there being a Kickstarter version of the core game, when it's just like, no, that should have been a separate pack. So that, like, hey, unless you're planning to sell that version later. Then we've got some Punch-Outs. I don't even know what this is supposed to be. We've got a, that odd little shape. I don't know if it's meant to be, like, things in the way or something. I don't know. Oh! They're the ropes for the ring. Because there's 4 of them, and and it breaks here, so, yeah. Okay, that's kind of cool. But we've got some terrain, and it's wooden floor on one side. What looks like, I'm guessing Mexican temple on the other. Same thing here. I think these two are basically the same thing. Mechanically, they are at least. The terrain really doesn't make much of a difference itself, like the actual board pieces. It's just there for aesthetic's sake. Foam. I really did appreciate the foam in the other box. It was nice to be able to fit everything perfectly. And it seems like you'll be able to do that again in this one. So, I've only played the tutorial scenario, and I never plan to replay it because it is clearly just tutorial. And I didn't use the tutorial setup, or tutorial rules, because it pretty much is just like, okay, this is harder to read because this is implying you don't understand how to play games. Which, I appreciate those versions existing. I just don't like having to read them. And thankfully, this was a game that didn't actually force you to read them. And then with the other expansion, we've got one side being Graveyard and the other side being, I'm not sure, I'm guessing Snowfield Battleground? So, more of the same. In fact, nope, almost look the same. More the same. And then this one's actually got stuff on it, so it's still got a 2x2, but then it's got some actual debris kind of stuff. I forget what it's called, but it's the actual things that spawn there, and 2 tokens, which are the same on both sides, and the board features are different to match the aesthetics. The pieces that I thought were 3D versions of those are actually the clue tokens in the original one. Bag, again, appreciated. I'm assuming the punch-outs are meant for that. Cover for the miniatures. But before that, we've got cards. We've got the various case files, which I don't remember if the other ones were in resealable bags, but I really prefer that over the tear open and stack it correctly. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. One of them, for some reason, doesn't have the case file stop on the back. Then we've got some standard size cards. I'm guessing these are broken up into one of these is each expansion, and then these are the other things. And then one of the small cards are each expansion, because I don't think there was anything friendly in that. And yeah, I can tell just by the icon that, yeah. Alright, let's do it this way. I'm gonna start with the large cards for Hellboy in Mexico, and then do the small cards, then the large for the other one, small cards, and then the large for the last bit. Come on, pull tab, where are you? There you are. Better than having to ruin a couple cards trying to split the plastic. Yeah, I don't like vacuum sealed plastic on cards, because you have to split a couple of cards. Alright, so I realized these are all basic rule explanation cards, and the order makes more sense now, because before it was just all a big hodgepodge instead of expansions separated properly. But yeah, these are some boss behavior cards, some enemies, and then the rest is Deck of Doom. Lots and lots of tequila. So, last I remember the story of Hellboy in Mexico is Hellboy got drunk in Mexico. Shenanigans ensued. The Coffin Man passes. Cursed and furred? What's a monkey with the fist with the hand of doom? Huh. Guess Hellboy lost it at one point in time. Bouts. Hey. Trap in the Dark. Oh, this looks like a bad moment for Hellboy. This looks like it covers multiple stories, because I've read the wrestling one, and I didn't remember like half of these images. And some of them are very clearly meant to be like Mexican temples. Screams in the night. Had somebody being burned at the stake. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Looks like an all-out brawl. And we got to their white on black instead of white on white. Interesting. Alright, and then we got some monster cards. So we got the Hungry Vampire. I think that's Hungry. Crypt Spirit. Undead Conquistador Swordsman. And Horseman. The Giant Bat. And Kamazotes Vampire Wrestler, who is probably the boss, is my guess, because the boss behaviors, one of them's Pile Driver, and the other's being foul and horrific vision, and none of those have images. You're right. So let's get to the small cards then. So as I was just saying, I don't like vacuum sealed because there's a good chance you have to split the cards. Okay, this one wasn't nearly as bad. Alright. Okay, cool. Oh, they're a lot more clear on those starting cards. It looks like they did some format things. Alright, the first 4 are all Mask of such and such with Sea Lord, Primordial, Fury, and Blue Scream, and they're all wrestling masks. That's kind of cool. Aztec headdress, Hellboy wedding ring. Oh, is this the story where he got married? Like, was forced to marry, basically. And then we've got some starting cards here that aren't clearly labeled. I guess it was just the one, and it's just has nothing else on the other side. Because a lot of these cards actually have dual-sided effects. But, like, there's Hellboy's mask, Hellboy's singlet, Esteban's mask, Tequila, Massive Stake, Impale, Mask of Vengeance, Mask of the Stoic, and a Holy Roller. So, usually 2 cards per character. And then the encounter cards are just this kind of thing. And I found out that's not number of players, that's just what fills in. I don't actually remember off the top of my head what the balancing mechanic is for number of players. It might be a game where you just have to play with 4 characters anyway. No, that definitely wasn't the case. Alright, so on to the standard cards from the other expansion. Pull tab. No. Oh, okay, there it is. It's kind of on the corner. And tore as well. But it did its job. Honestly, as long as it gets somewhere. Alright, so again, some new rules. Although this one actually looks like it might add a new monster slot. More new rules. Long lost note. Vengeance. Goblin looking thing. Called Congregation. Ooh. Army? So Moon. Watched from the Shadows. Strange Travelers. Brief Respite. Swift Onslaught. Bows and Arrows. Not so fun. A few others. As well as a few white on black ones. No images at the point. And for the enemy cards, we got Skeleton Warlord. Skeletal Champion. Skeleton Swordsman. Spearman. Axeman. Yay! Skeleton Army! The Witch Mary. The Witch Margaret. The Witch Amelia. I think these are the 3 witches that show up in the movie. And Koski the Deathless. And then we've got the boss stuff. It's like a devastating arc, hunter shot, volley. These are actually 2 different sets as well. Soroloff Curse with an exclamation mark. Yay! And Restorative Ward being the other set. Okay. Then on to the mini cards from that. So equipment and well, encounters as well. Big stabby knife for a deck of small cards. Yep. There we go. So we've got a bunch of requisition cards, which are basically, they're the items you buy, and you get some number of points to spend. Hellboy Totem? Oh, hey, some of them aren't double-sided now. 2 copies of 1941 U.S. Army 45. Okay. Hangsman's Noose, also double copy. Skull Lanterns, Foul Potion. Idol of Purin? Ancient Hammer, Vicious Blade. Some starting cards for that 5th character. The Witchfinder Sword. Really? I thought that was... okay, I could swear that was something else entirely. Like, it wasn't a rapier. Copper Coin Eyes. Backup Agent. Giant Wolf. And no miniature. Well, no, there's a miniature for that. I can see it. No large cards, so. And then, again, encounter cards, same kind of thing, just 4 separate lines of how stuff goes. And then we've got the pack for the rest of the stuff, and yeah, you can tell it wasn't a lot of things. I'm kind of surprised it wasn't thrown in with the core game. I don't remember if there was a reason, but So, again, more new rules. Some Deck of Doom stuff, no images on them. Vladimir Guresu? Igor Bombhead? Oni? Yeah. And Floating Heads, even though that's kind of awkward, because they look more like they're on a pike. And Regenerate for a boss behavior. Yay! Alright, now on to the meat of this, because it is a miniatures game, and, well, we've got miniatures to go through. And there's at least 2 trays. So, first off, that giant wolf that I thought wasn't there. And there is a token for this, which is a lot smaller. The Vampire Wrestler. Some giant bats. There's 3 of these? Yes, 3. I think one of the witches. Yes. Another one. One of them was just half a body. And what looks like the third one. And then there's 3 of these. I think these are the skeletal horsemen or spearmen. Very nice on horses. 3 of these ghost-like figures. That's the entire first tray, because it was also holding the cards. Bid for that tray. Oh boy, there's a lot more in this one. Looking at it, it's like I need to pick it apart about. So we got this dude mounted on a horse. He's got space for something below him. I don't know if that was just them going, here, let's stabilize the tray here. That one boss guy with the axe. At least 3 of these skeletal swordsmen. I say at least because these aren't organized nearly as well. They're kind of all over the place. The Buddha monk looking guy. I forgot the name entirely. Floating Heads. See, that's just really awkward with this deck. I really hope that doesn't break. And there is a second sculpt as well. Which is interesting. Got some skeletal spearmen. There's 3 of those as well. 3 skeletal knights. This one's really nice. 3 conquistadors of sorts. One of them's got their sword really bent, and that makes me feel happy. 2 of these look like zombies, honestly. I take it this is the undead-looking playable character? Not too sure. Speaking of playable characters, we got 2 of the luchadors. And then another one, the one with the giant stake. Yeah, these things are just not that organized this time around. Oh, there were 3 of the zombies. Okay, I see the third one now. Right, here's Hellboy. Luchador Hellboy. Oh. He's freaking huge compared to normal Hellboy. Oh, no, he's not. Okay, he just feels a lot bigger. Like, this version is hunched over a bit, and this one is standing up straight, and it's just like, okay. Yeah, no, that's similar size. It's one of the taller models with that size of base, though. The Oni? Rawr. Man, that's like it's right out of, like, ancient drawings. And some more skeletals. 3 of this one. And 3 of the axe skeletals. And I believe there's a whole nother tray under this, but I could be wrong. Time to find out. And I am wrong. Okay. So, that's everything. All the miniatures, most of the cards. If you'd like to see me go over this stuff in more detail, specifically the mechanics, so the cards, feel free to ask. I'll start with a core game, but after that it's just fair game from there, and I will start with the actual core game, not the Kickstarter core game. I do know how to figure out what's what. It is actually quite clear in the... It's quite clear in the instruction manual what is the original core game stuff. But that's all for now. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, feel free to press that like button. If you think somebody else will enjoy this, feel free to share this video. Either way, it'll help this video get seen more often. If you didn't like this video, go ahead and press the dislike button. I won't mind, but please leave a constructive comment as to why. Also, feel free to comment in general, again, such as if you want to see any of this done in more detail. If you want to see the models, ask for painting videos. If you want to see the game components, ask for a detailed overview. And if you want to see more like this, be it more unboxing videos, my board game overviews, or my painting videos, all 3 of which I may get around to doing for this, 2 of which I'm definitely going to try, and anything else that I might do on this channel, feel free to subscribe. Regardless, thank you for watching and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.